Ugly Oysters. This video is one of a series of discussions based on Jordan Peterson's book Beyond Order. Today's topic is related to the first rule of his book, entitled Do Not Carelessly Denigrate Social Institutions or Creative Achievement. Throughout this video, we make interesting comparisons between Jordan Peterson and Vincent van Gogh. I have posted timestamps below if you wish to locate anything specific, and I do hope you enjoy the view while considering these important ideas for our lives. Okay, we're on.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good.
Recently, there was a Van Gogh show in Convention Center in Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I go watch it.
Mm.
And
How was it?
it's cool, because they join all the technology thing together. Like make the painting like a kind of a movie way. And with all of the music, like it's kind of like you can feel you living in that time with him, and seeing how he feel about the world around him, and also how he perceive the world, and it's just like a different experience while you just watch the painting, It's kind of catch a different sense, of your body, You have the sight, you have the listening, you have the feeling, it's all together. It's a good feeling.
So what is the feeling? Like, what's the sense you get when you look?
It's like before, for example, when you watch a painting, it's still, and it's just painting in front of you, and you're gonna try to go into the painting to feel it. It's kind of you are the one who try to do so, because the painting is still not moving, because you need to use your imagination or your thing, try to approach it. But this show, like, it seems you don't need to work hard. It's kind of like you are being put into this environment, and all of this thing just come to you. They reach to you. It's not you reach to them. So I just feel it's a good experience to feel the painting this way. Actually, it's more than painting now. It's not just a painting, you look at it. It's just you feel the life of him, So
Yeah. So normally with art, what I get most annoyed with when people talk about it is they want to be intellectual and abstract about it. They want to say about how he does his lines and does this and that, and
kind
look at the way he
handles.
So look at the way he handles the light and whatever.
Yeah.
You're actually, for me, you're better because you're talking about the feeling. But I still didn't get what the feeling is. How do you feel when you look at his art? When you get immersed in his world?
Frankly, basically, I didn't see he is a famous painter or something. I feel he is a lonely, miserable, being cast away, abandoned child in this world, in front of this immersed huge world which he can't handle and can't face, Kind of, I feel it's the loneliness he is, like the vulnerable, of a kid who can't handle the monster-like world. So then he try to sort himself out by painting. Kind of he get himself clear to see what the world is. So that's why I think I paint lots of sceneries. And also in this scenery painting, there is a lot of bright painting, I think it's something he want to reach in his spiritual world through the painting. That's his desire. That's his feel warm about the world and what he desired so much.
Like
but
the dandelions and the stars in the sky, all those bright things.
I think mostly to me it's the yellow color he used, like about some flower and this field thing. It's kind of the warm feeling for him.
Even his bedroom picture. That's one of my favorite pictures is his bedroom picture, and it's bright. It's like that's his place of comfort. His solitude.
But basically he used the blue color to paint lots of stuff, but I view that's not bright. I view that's his melancholy, his weakness, his vulnerable to the world. Blue, dark blue, and we call Van Gogh blue, It's kind of, I think that's his normal way. That brightness is the way he tried to reach the world. So, to me, I just feel he is this kind of, he has this two separate him inside of him. The one who he desired, also he want to reach there, where he can feel warm. But basically, he always feel he is nowhere. And I don't know if I think right, for example, like all of the sky, this kind of a painting, the coffee shop, this blue background painting. Usually the people's face, you can't see the face, just the image. So I think at that time he is around that kind of emotion. He felt he was alienated from his world. Like he is not belong there, and also he don't see them. Don't see people, so they all don't have a specific face there. It's just image around him. But when you see these kind of warm color, like this yellow, this warm color background, lots of image of people, like more clear. So I think at that time maybe he can get along with people, or he can see people, around him. So I think this is kind of separate, separately. There is two in his mind.
So, just see if I got what you mean. So in lots of his images, the faces are not clear.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Especially in this blue background painting.
So he's not seeing them as individuals. He's just seeing them as part of the scenery, part of the nature.
And also he was lost. He has no connection with people.
He has no connection with them.
Yeah. But I mean, like in this warm background painting, you can see the eyes, the face, about the people. So maybe I think when he is more in the warm feeling with the world, he can see people more clearly. So, yeah, that's it.
So, lots of people paint bright colors on their canvases, or dark colors, or whatever.
Yeah.
Something about Van Gogh that makes him so popular now.
Yeah.
What is it that people derive from him?
I think that madness aspect. I think everyone have that. Everyone have this vulnerable, madness feeling in front of the world they can't handle, and they can't fit the world. Their rule of right or wrong not fit the world rule of right or wrong. Kind of suspect they're insane or something. I think these kind of people will be fond of him because they can kind of feel the connection with him, the feeling.
But these kind of people are lots and lots and lots of people.
Yeah.
Like
That's why he got popular. I think people like his painting because he can arise their feeling, you know.
You know, when I look at his work, like there is that side of him, like there's that vulnerable side, and always, even when you're talking now, I have Don McLean's song going through my head, Starry Starry Night, paint your canvas blue and gray, you know, talking about how vulnerable Van Gogh was. But recently when I look at his work, what I'm so impressed with is how strong he was.
Oh, yeah.
How strong his vision was and how determined he was. And he communicated through paint a very clear view of the world. A very determined view of the world. And what I get when I look at that is I feel safety. I feel safety in that strength, in the power of his painting. And I think, oh, I like your world. I want to live in it. But he was so cast out of the world he was in.
Yeah. Because I think the world don't welcome the extremely people. The world welcome the mediocre, you know, like normal people. Because if you go too extremely, like you are too pushing, you know, pushing a kind of a thing of reality that the world can't bear it.
Yeah, like his style didn't match the style of everyone else around. And I can imagine people would look at his paintings and say...
Yeah, even his painting is rude somehow to some people.
It seemed rude.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of like just you tell out a bloody reality to you without any delicate feeling or without any covering.
Yeah.
Which just seems rude.
Yeah.
Too real.
They had a very delicate sensibility during his time, and his sensibility was not that delicate at all.
Yeah, right. Like delicate at that time is something valued as art or something.
Yeah.
But his art, like, just is so kind of like...
So you can hear what people of his day would say. Why you don't just do paintings like this? Why you always need to do this kind of garbage stuff?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Because that's his reality.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think the thing, how to say, like, make him is a famous painter after he is dead, it's not because the painting only. I think it's also about his personality. Like, he just can't compromise. He just can't be not him. Like, even drive himself to madness, he still insists on to be him. This rude, farmer-looking, not be acceptable figure at that time.
There's some quality in him that caused him to keep getting fired or losing his job.
Yeah, I think...
And that quality wasn't appreciated by...
Yeah, I think it got appreciated by the world.
Yeah.
But I think he has no choice because he is too mad to be not himself.
Yeah.
You know, like, he is so determined to be himself. And this determined to be himself actually will be viewed as madness because he pushed it too extremely to the world.
Yeah.
And that make people just scared of a person. How can he be so extremely, you know, to push himself into the world? And that's intimidate lots of people, I think. But also this kind of a strength, like, give a lot of people strength for them to say a word in the world, you know? So I think so it's two aspects. Like, at that time, like, people afraid of a real Van Gogh because, oh my God, it's so pushy, you know, so extremely mad. But after he's dead, only his painting left. Then it's become the kind of a spiritual, food for the next generation, think, oh, he can live this kind of life, He's a great artist and that's inspire us. So I think in history, people only value the hero's story. They would never appreciate the real hero.
Yeah.
That's too real. That's a real dragon, to them. In Chinese story. There is a story a man loved dragon, but he put the dragon everywhere on his clothes, on his furniture, in his house. But when the dragon really comes, because dragon heard, oh, he loved me so much, so I'm gonna visit him. So when the dragon come to visit him, he got frightened and run away quickly. So that means you just love the image of dragon, but you don't love the dragon itself. So it also demonstrated if you are the real hero at that time, like Van Gogh, you will be put into the crazy house. But your painting is okay. It can inspire us. I think it's always the fate for the hero.
Yeah, and in this way, the hero is the one who's sort of if a society is going to change, it changes one person at a time.
Yes.
And somebody has to take the lead. Somebody has to be the first.
Yeah. Some people have to be the hero who was killed.
Yeah. And I think Van Gogh
Yeah.
was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
People followed him, but just not when he was alive.
Yeah, later. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of social change is that way.
Yeah, I think so.
Jesus,
it's kind of,
same way.
I think it's kind of like their destiny.
Yeah.
And like I said, he can't be not Van Gogh.
Yeah.
He would be crazy to be himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's their fate, I think, somehow,
But at least I heard when he lived in the insane asylum, he started feeling happier and more. More
because
natural.
he is more allowed to be himself.
More allowed to be himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like me when I live in other countries. I feel I'm more allowed to be myself because I'm just a foreigner. Nobody cares.
Yeah, you can be as sane as you want.
Yeah, that's right. So, exactly. I can be insane.
Yeah, insane.
In other countries, and they'll judge me as normal.
Yeah, because you're just foreign and you don't know anything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
I think that explains a lot why I was happy when I lived abroad. No expectation to be...
Because there is too many restrictions in Canada,
Yeah.
It's strange when I look at the Van Gogh's self-painting about himself, the eyes, I just feel it's very similar to the figure we are always talking about, Jordan Peterson,
Oh, yeah.
They both have this kind of eyes, very deep,
Yeah.
Seems kind of also have the sorrow, but have the determination.
Yeah.
And also have the madness somehow, anger,
Yeah.
and feel not being understood,
Oh, yeah.
And kind of
so
like a
much.
warrior,
I can just picture Peterson in my mind, especially now in his new
Maybe
videos.
He can cut a haircut like a Van Gogh. Let's see if the similar.
On our video, we'll make a video of this. I should post a picture of Peterson beside Van Gogh and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
I think so, especially lately when you see Peterson on videos right now. He just looks so weary of this world, so burdened, and so even angry, yes, and determined.
Yeah.
And vulnerable.
Yeah, vulnerable.
Like Van Gogh.
Yeah.
It's similar.
Yeah, right. I mean, this kind of, ahead of history person, they always, they have to have this vulnerable feeling. They can't escape from this vulnerable feeling. Because after all, like you a single individual, with fighting with the whole world. How can you not be vulnerable? Even Jesus at that time say, God, please move the cup for me if you can.
Yeah.
So I think it's reasonable for them to be vulnerable. And also you can see the painting of the vulnerability in Van Gogh too. You also can see the tears in Peterson's interview.
Yeah.
So I think it's normal for them. And because there is sincerity.
And even,
so they will have this showing this vulnerability.
Yeah. And Jesus, when he was pushed to his most extreme, even then, all his closest friends abandoned him.
Yeah, right.
He really faced it
Yes.
all alone.
Yeah, because maybe like people can't stand with the extreme like so long.
Yeah.
Like even your best friend, they still can't resist the pressure or the temptation of the normal world.
Yeah.
They want to go back to the normal world. Like they want to have this belonging feeling. That's natural for a human being. So not everyone can stand that. So, only this insane person, So I just think it's all related. Sometimes when I watch in Peterson's interview, I also kind of worry he gonna, go to the not good direction of his own health.
He's on the edge in every way. Like the last video I saw of him, he confessed, like, the interviewer asked what's his greatest fear, and he said, my health. He said, every day, I'm not sure how it's going to go.
Yeah, I think it's maybe the body issue, also the psychology issue.
Yeah,
it's just a binding together,
Well, I think
kind of
physical has to affect intellectual or mental.
Yeah.
But it's not just physical. He's got social. He's right in the middle of a culture war. He's defending so many people. He's equipping them with... He's showing them how to fight.
Yeah.
And he's giving them the tools to fight. But while he's doing that, he's under attack.
Yeah.
And so he's got social pressure.
Yes.
Then he would have the psychological pressure of his body, of the social, of the fact that his wife nearly died, his daughter nearly died, he nearly died. Like, all his stability is gone except for his vision. His vision is the thing he has to hold on to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's on the edge. Right on the edge.
Yeah. And I think, because they are human, right? And in human, they are very strong and capable. I think in Peterson's area, he can find some weapon for other people can use to fight with the world, Also, like you can see this kind of a strength in Van Gogh's painting. So that's why I think people can get strength from it. But at the same time, you will see they're really human because they're struggling and they have the same struggle as you. And you see the vulnerability, Like I think they always showing the face that they are actually lost. Just like Van Gogh's painting, I saw lots of his painting. Actually, he is showing he is a lost child. Maybe just like Peterson. He shed tears when he said he met Christ. Why? Because actually it's a lost child. Finally found a home feeling because they so desire for that home. I think Van Gogh same thing, like all his life. Maybe he find a little bit truth here. He find a little bit that strength here. Like then he put into his painting. That's just also his talking, just like Peterson's book. All their book, so-called this art. I think it's all the journey you find the meaning of life. Actually, the journey, maybe we would say to God. So, but during all of this journey, sometimes you find the truth, sometimes you find the wrong path, sometimes you deny the truth you find, sometimes you just totally lost. I think they just are showing the very, very real human being there. And that's for something I really, really appreciate and respect. Because it's so real. So then I think human being, we have the common sense. So I think that's why so many people was drawn to Peterson, and so many people was drawn to Van Gogh. So they are in this different area. Seems Peterson's a very rational guy. Van Gogh is a very irrational guy, but it doesn't matter. Like, why you try to find the path to the truth. Finally, you're gonna match somewhere.
Well, while you're talking, I'm not sure I followed what you were saying, because I had a thought that popped into my mind. Because when we started talking about Peterson's book, I indicated that Peterson, sort of tries to reach heaven from his rational ladder.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm on the other side. I like the chaos.
Yeah, maybe you're more like a Van Gogh.
Yeah, Van Gogh. So what does that mean, from the chaos? Like, do I really like chaos? Well, definitely, if he steps out of his world into the larger world, he's in chaos. Like, that will destroy him. But when he's in his own world, what everyone else calls chaos, he's at home. He feels safe. That's his place of safety. But he can't explain it. He was a preacher. He lasted a year maybe as a preacher. Nobody liked what he had to say.
You mean Van Gogh?
Yeah, Van Gogh, yeah. So he's on that
Because
kind
he
of
can't-
non-rational
Yeah, because
side.
he can't reason it or
Yeah.
whatever. You're using Peterson's way.
Right. In fact, maybe where he is, there is no reasoning it. There is no explaining it. The only thing he can do is show it through painting. And then you see what he sees. You can understand a little bit the world he's in. And the world he's in may be something like determined compassion or whatever. It's a feeling orientation. It's not an abstract concept. Yeah. So I'm just kind of working out for myself what's the difference between having your foot in the ordered world or having your foot in the chaotic world. And I just don't think the chaos is automatically an enemy.
Yeah, I got what you said. And actually, like, lots of arts is from the meaning in the chaos.
Yeah.
But I think, like, the chaos way, as you said, and the rational way, whatever the way it is, they all go for direction to the absolutely truth.
Yes.
Or that's like I say, Christian said God.
Yes.
So I think
Or
they
the
finally,
Tao. The Tao.
yeah, they finally gonna match together. Like we see the similarity as Van Gogh and Peterson. They're different, totally different people. But the one thing is true, that's they have the true heart to pursue the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're decent people, and they're gonna to pursue the truth.
Yeah.
At the price of their life.
Yeah.
That's what identify them the same people, you know. And I think actually the history made up of these kind of people.
Yeah.
History never made up of mob like the collective, you know. I think history made of these kind of people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, somehow you just if you are chosen, then you have to live yourself out. But it's painful. For me, like I think I would be more coward thinking I just live as a collectiveness and have an easy life. Don't want to be drawn into this kind of struggle, fighting life all my life, you know. Just want to have a little bit happy, easy life. Have a coffee, lie on the beach, I just want to live like a crab, happily. Happily have the sunshine, don't want to think about deeply to feel so suffered. Basically refuse the responsibility for the bigger mission. And also God didn't assign me this, so it's okay. But maybe you feel you're assigned a kind of a mission job from God?
I don't know. I'm not sure I believe you. I'm thinking about it. Because, like, one of the things Peterson keeps saying again and again as a basic orientation is don't lie. Don't lie to yourself and don't lie to others. And if you take just that one rule seriously, it's going to put you in trouble. You're going to have to face things. If you take that one rule seriously, don't lie, then you're already in a battle. Because now you're fighting for truth.
Yeah.
And as soon as you're fighting for truth...
Yeah, you're gonna suffer.
You're gonna suffer.
Yeah, you want to avoid.
Yep. And the thing is, who wants to live a lie?
Lots of people.
I don't think people really, in the end, if they end their life and go, it was all fake.
Yeah.
My life was a waste.
Yeah.
They're not going to be happy. They might think they want to live a lie. To me, what you're describing, want to sit on the beach and read a book and whatever, I think there's a time where everyone wants that. And that's just rest. That's just escape from the normal pressures of life, and it's reasonable to have rest. Everything stretches and yields, the only constant growth model is an economic model, and it's unrealistic.
What do you mean? Why unrealistic?
Nature's not that way. Nature is growth and rest. Growth and rest. See. It's not constant, unending, unresting growth.
They still have regression?
Yeah.
So it's also rest.
Yeah. Spring, summer, winter, fall. There's seasons. Like there's a rhythm in life. No,
I mean economic. They have regression.
Yeah, but they view that as a bad, kind of an evil, rather than seeing that as natural.
Like some people view winter as bad.
Yeah,
but I mean, like to
that.
Economic itself, they also have this breathe in and breathe out.
Yeah, you can't avoid it, but but governments will do everything they can to maintain growth.
Yeah, because they are the people who don't like winter.
Yeah, right. So, but to say you don't want challenge, I think I don't think it's true. I think you sit on the beach long enough, you're going to hate your life.
So then I go climb mountain.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And
I still can avoid the struggle to be a hero or something.
But where I agree with you is what C.S. Lewis said when he was asked the question, how difficult is it to be a Christian? He said, as difficult as it needs to be.
Yeah.
For some people, it's more difficult than for other people, and that's normal too. Some people are trees, some people are flowers, like the different...
Yeah.
We all have different natures.
Right.
Yeah. So, not everyone wants to be the one tree in the middle of the field bearing up against the wind, like Peterson.
Yeah.
But I still think they're a model.
And so here, I just heard of you seems you are kind of put yourself in Van Gogh's shoes and you feel you are so much feel the similar feeling with him, and you even might view yourself as kind of a so-called comrade as him. So kind of with this feeling about confront the society, or being the heroic aspect.
Heroic.
Yeah, aspect of human being. You feel you really have the very similar feeling as him.
So I do like Van Gogh. I do, like I mentioned before, when I see his work, I feel a safety with him. I feel there's so much strength there.
Yeah.
And he did counter the world.
Uh-huh.
Do I feel similar to him?
And I mean, you've so much valued he come from the world.
Oh yeah,
because you think he's the leading, the world to
oh
some
yeah,
direction.
I think he stuck to his vision. He didn't give up. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think I've said before, if he
So
didn't.
you think what kind of a value he offered to this world by his sticking in his vision?
If he didn't stick to his vision, he would have died.
Yeah, he died. But I mean, what's the goodness for this
on
society?
one aspect is he couldn't avoid it. He had to be this way.
Yeah.
So the other aspect is he bore his burden.
Yeah.
With determination.
Uh-huh.
He didn't give up.
Yeah.
So there's this not give up quality.
Yeah.
But it's not just that.
But if you say not give up quality, a dog maybe not give up a bone. So what's that for?
But it's not just the not give up.
Mm-hmm.
It's that while feeling totally abandoned by his society, his world, he still looked upon the world with so much tenderness and care.
So about all of the thing, Van Gogh insisted to be himself, have the caring or whatever thing to the world, basically through his painting or something. What do you think he offered the world? Because you see why in the real relationship, he actually can't get close with anybody except his brother. Even his brother seems he's quarreling with his brother, about money issue, about something, because I read about his story before.
Well,
so, I mean, he can't get along with people.
I think what Don McLean sang puts it very succinctly. When he's looking at Van Gogh's art, then he sings this line. He says, "Now I know how lonely life can be." Van Gogh is showing people how to bear up under the loneliness.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the gift to the world that he gives.
Yeah,
he shows how to be a solitude. And I think Peterson talks about this. Maybe it's a different writer. I might have to look it up. But talks about how everyone has to face their existential fact that basically we are all alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's what Van Gogh shows us, how to do that without being bitter, without being angry, without giving up, and still seeing the wonder of the world. Yeah, so I think it's very beautiful. That beauty is compelling.
Yes, but at the price, or we say, as the yes, just as the price of in reality, he kind of can't get along with anyone. He may even can't get along with himself. So maybe that's why he cut his ear.
Yeah,
So,
that's the.
I mean, maybe, yeah, kind of has a good vision or whatever he bring to people. I mean, the next generation or something. But to the real life he live in, he didn't do anything good for the people around him, whom he should be close with, you know?
That's because they just didn't see the goodness he had.
I don't believe that. I don't buy that. Because there is a lots of people, like the artist or some famous guy, you know, seems they really put a mark on the history. But actually, their son and daughter, their wife got suffered by them, you know. It's because all of his like intimacy relationship people don't know him at all.
Well, I mean, it's pretty hard to guess because who knows?
Yeah,
But I guess they either didn't know him or couldn't tolerate who he was.
yeah.
You
But,
know, like through his painting, he's
it's also two-way. Like other people can tolerate who he is. He also can't tolerate who other people is.
But like you
And
said,
maybe maybe he didn't.
Yeah.
He can't give the proper support for the people who is intimate to him. But he always need other peoples to support. You know? I mean, it's also makes sense.
If who he was expressed in his painting and nobody loved it or accepted it, why would it be any different when who he was is expressed in his daily life with people? Also not accept, also not understand, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, it goes hand in hand. And
Yeah.
and when nobody understands you, nobody accepts you, you're going to struggle against your own self also. You're going to fight with yourself because you're thinking, am I nuts? Why am I so difficult to get along with? But if I try, then I get crazy.
Yeah. So I said, so this is the real weakness of these kind of famous people, hero people, you know?
Yeah,
Seems they only can do the big masterpiece, but they can't wash their own dish.
Yeah.
Like they can't take care of their own kids.
Yeah.
But they want to take care of the next generation of kids.
I don't think it's that they want. It's that they find they have no choice.
Yeah, they have no choice. Yeah. So I say from this point of view, I say I don't want a Van Gogh to be my father or something.
Yeah.
I want a normal father, you know.
Maybe.
So sorry, I didn't see the value of him. Maybe. But you think like I kind of diminished his value, or because I mean like to a normal person, I just think if have choice, don't be Van Gogh.
I would say in reply, agree with you.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you have the opposite view.
I think what Van Gogh did is he stayed true.
Yeah.
If you mean, if have choice, don't be true, I disagree. But if you mean, if have choice to be understood or not be understood, then I'd say, well, choose to be understood, of course. You know? It's not choose the suffer on purpose.
Yeah.
The suffer is the side effect of being true.
Yeah.
But you do choose to be true on purpose.
Uh-huh.
It's not an accident.
Yeah, this I agree.
Yeah.
That's kind of a too painful life.
Mm.
When you can't fit the society around you. So that's why I think Peterson is more realistic when he is talking about, cleaning up your room, fit your society, listen to your society standard. So I think he kind of make people know more how to find the balance between to be a real you and fit the society. Because he also said the person who gets better relationship with the other people, they will live a better life. They also make more healthy,
Yeah, so are we starting to talk about chapter 1 now?
Yeah, sure. And it seems you don't agree with this a little bit. You say you don't agree with Peterson about this.
Yeah, so Peterson's idea in chapter 1, from what I recall, it's not fresh in my mind right now, but he's talking about something like...
Do you want the book?
Rule number 1. He says, do not carelessly denigrate social institutions or creative achievement. I have no problem with that. You should not carelessly denigrate social institutions or creative achievement. But then he starts talking about how Freud and Jung, in seeking an integrated personality, seem to treat life as if we're just solitary travelers and we have no connection with society whatsoever.
Yeah.
And
he disagree with that.
Yeah, he says his point of view is we have to orient ourselves to society.
Yeah.
And he says that basically there's a particular place, like if you start to move away from your society, from being acceptable to your society, basically Peterson's saying you're going on the wrong path. So he says, if you begin to act improperly, I'm reading from page 5, so if other people have the book.
Yes.
People will react to your errors before they become too great, and they will cajole you, laugh, tap you on the shoulder and say, seriously, are you seriously? Criticize you back to become normal, And I just disagree with him on this. I mean, yes, people will do that, but that may not be the solution to stay an integrated personality. It might be if you are in a healthy community.
Yes.
But if you're in you can't just say the world will correct you. There's a lot of unhealth out there. If you are in a healthy community, like I can think of a community I used to be in, there was a reading group a long time ago. Basically what we did is we met once a week, we read books together, and we talked and we chatted. If I said something out of line and they corrected me, I would listen to them. I would be corrected because I felt I was in a safe place and that they would be able to watch my back. They would know what my weaknesses are and they would be able to guide me in the right way. But if I'm in other communities, say a cult, or even some communities, maybe even my own family, they just don't have any clue who I am. They think they know. And so they're going to keep correcting me back according to their standard. Well, that's the world according to Peterson. And that's going to distort me. And that's going to cause me the pain, just like Van Gogh experienced, Then I have to persist. And I have to start becoming misunderstood. And I have to follow my path. Because I should not. When I first became a Christian, the first verse I read on becoming a Christian was, do not be deceived. I have an orientation fundamentally that the world wants to deceive me. they want to keep me from being true.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of stand very much on the opposite side of Peterson. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think the community is a reliable standard to
Mm-hmm.
know what is right. And I think this does bring me into conflict with Canada very much because they
Mm-hmm.
really believe the community will keep you straight.
Mm-hmm.
It's the social world that you need to align yourself to.
Uh-huh. But this can't get along actually creates more like a conflict and a trouble for an individual, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and you're gonna suffer more to have basically a normal life.
Especially when I have no intention to
Mm-hmm.
bring distress to the people around me.
Uh-huh.
It's just I refuse to be made another gear
Mm-hmm.
in the machinery
Uh-huh.
of the world.
Yes.
We were just talking about how Canada's so organized, so systematic,
Yeah.
so limited,
Mm-hmm.
that you kind of get trapped. It's like it feels like there's no way to advance yourself. You just kind of conform
Uh-huh.
to the great organizational system
Uh-huh.
of Canada.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be in that trap.
Uh-huh.
I don't
Yeah.
want to be made into a thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So then there is cause another trouble is if you don't want to be like one part of the organization, like the big machine, then you will be cast out.
Yeah. So here.
Yeah.
Order and chaos.
Yeah.
In the ordered world,
Mm-hmm.
that one person refusing to fit the ordered world
Yeah.
is going to be
Cast away.
considered chaotic and an enemy, dangerous,
Yeah.
because it's breaking up the ordered world.
Yeah.
But if everyone was able to just be themselves,
Yeah.
then nobody would stick out like that. Everyone would be their own different way.
Then that's gonna be the heaven.
But here's the thing. I do believe you need to have a balance between the ordered world and the chaotic world. I do
Yes.
believe that.
Yes.
And I don't articulate a particular answer for that because the ordered world will have a very organized answer to how to be ordered. The chaotic world is just going to follow feeling and intuition and instinct and even what they don't even know. Okay? If either one of those worlds
Yes.
has supremacy, it's going to cause destruction. Even an overly ordered world will become chaos. There has to be an active balance between the two. And I'm just saying, I don't agree with how Peterson has framed it that way. Peterson himself is not even living that way. He himself is standing out against, am I bold to say at least 10% of Canadian society? That would mean that 80% of women agree with him, and I don't think so. So he's probably standing out against even more than 10% of Canadian society, let alone American society or British society or Australian society. You know, he's not conforming to all the social or the world. He's very definitely taking his own personal stance. So I just don't like how he says that. It makes it seem like Van Gogh is an idiot. Or me. Or him. Or him. It's making it seem like he's an idiot. Maybe he has more to say to balance that out.
I think he may just advise. He has the similarity as Van Gogh on this truth pursuing aspect, but on this relationship with the other human being aspect, I don't think they're the same.
Yeah.
Like Peterson, I think he more value this structure.
Yeah.
You know,
That's it.
For example, like hierarchy stuff.
Yeah.
He evaluates very much. I don't think Van Gogh even have a concept of a hierarchy thing. You know?
Exactly.
So that's, I think, the difference between them.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you see, like for individual opinion, for me, I support Peterson, I think then you will live a better life in the real life, like not for the next generation, and live a miserable life now. So I think Peterson's 12 rules or suggestion about you go getting along with your neighbors or other friends, this kind of a tips is good for you live a recent, like a right now life. It's not for you for the next generation life. And I think I can adopt his view. I don't want to be a hero that much. But then I see there is the difference between you and me. I think you maybe prefer the Van Gogh kind of life, like a fighter with the whole world more.
Yeah, but just like Peterson, I don't actually want to fight. The only reason I fight is when people start trying to change my shape. Get your hands off. Why do you want to make me like you?
Yeah,
so ridiculous,
I know the feeling.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there is that difference. But if I could restate Peterson's words in my own way, I would say you need to be aware that the social world is as real as the trees in the park. Those people are there. They have expectations. They have needs and wants, even if they aren't good needs or wants, and you need to know how to manage that wild nature if you're going to survive in this forest.
Yeah, right.
It's just, for me, managing it is not being conformed by it. It's just learning how to live in it.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
That's my chaos way of thinking about it.
But you still try to manage it.
Yeah, but their so-called order, for me, is chaos.
Okay, whatever you say, but I still see you're gonna find something to manage it, right?
Yeah.
So you are not a Van Gogh. I think Van Gogh never think of how to manage it. He just fight directly. He just insert himself right in front of you directly. I think that's why make the people don't feel comfortable.
What I read about him is when he was in the insane asylum, he wrote letters to his brother and he said he was learning to manage himself. So I think that's the beginning place. And he was becoming more settled.
Yes. So you see, still need a managing skill.
Yeah.
For him to live in the same world.
Yeah.
And that means still live in the same world is his desire. It's just that he can't help to be insane.
Yeah.
But he still desire to be sane. So this is something I want to point out. I say he is Van Gogh, yes, right? He has this different as people, yes, maybe extremely different, but he still desire to be with others, in a harmony world.
Yeah.
And so he need to learn to manage it, to learn to a proper, some manners or something to fit the world a little bit, not just to be yourself and extremely, and that's gonna to, put yourself on the edge of the cliff.
Agree.
Like
any impression I may have given that he can just be by himself, alone, only himself.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I believe we have to know how to live in the world.
Yes.
But what I'm drawing the distinction is it's got to be on his own terms. Like, the world is there, it's real, it's objective.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say one time, the most objective thing in the world is a person standing in front of you disagreeing with you. That's the most objective thing you'll ever run into. And I think that's true. So he has to learn how to deal with that. But it might mean hiding. Like, that might be part of dealing with it.
Yes.
And, then the question is, well, do you hide forever? Well, these are all judgments. You don't make a single rule forever and ever for everyone. You know, yeah.
Yeah, right. So you agree with like Peterson's word finally?
I just don't like the way he said it. I said it my own way. I like that way better. The world is... treat people like trees. They're just part of the forest. Or think of them as wild animals. They are there.
Okay.
And you have to figure out a way to get along with them.
So you don't mean like just be yourself, let others talk? I thought at first what you express is just to be Van Gogh. Don't care about other people thinking. Just be yourself. Let others talk. I don't care about...
What I mean is, to the extent that they start invading who you are, you do have to fight them. That's like an animal attacking you. So you don't just conform to them because they're tapping you on the shoulder or giving you this...
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes when you fight with this... then you also find yourself. Maybe sometimes you're going to also modify yourself a little bit.
Right.
You also not just represent the universal truth.
But the way Peterson is saying it, it sounds like if society tells you you're wrong, then you must be wrong. And I think that's ridiculous.
Really? I don't think he's talking about that way.
That's what he said. I'll read it again.
Really? Okay.
If you begin to deviate, that means if you begin to go off from the straight and narrow path, the path that society has given you, and then he puts in brackets, if you act improperly, by whose definition? Society's definition. People will react to your errors. Before they become too great, they will cajole you. Oh, you don't mean that. They will laugh. That's so funny. You're just not serious. They will tap you and say, you want to think about that a little bit more? You know? He's saying society will correct you.
Yes.
When he says that, then I don't agree with him.
But that's the truth. Society do correct people.
Society will try to correct you.
Yeah.
You have to decide if it's a good correction or not them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll fall prey to any cult, any political...
Yeah, that's I agree. I just didn't think he said you should not have your reasoning, just accept whatever whoever gonna to correct you. He didn't say that. He just said
that's what that paragraph is saying.
He just said society gonna correct you.
Yeah. If you're wrong, society will correct you. So who's deciding the wrong? Society, not you.
I think he's talking about more like... I remember that he's talking about if you have the kids, you don't discipline them so much. Then when you let the kids out, the society will help you to correct them. So it's kind of like a more... objective this way. It's like the fitting, the kind of a manner way. But I think what you said is more like a thinking way. Like what you said is kind of who am I and who gonna define who am I. But
yes.
I think what he said is something you do not proper, and the society gonna correct you.
If he was saying that way, I would agree with him. But he starts the chapter saying, Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud say you can become an integrated personality by yourself. But actually, you need society to correct you. And that's where I block him. I said, no. What does society know about me? They can tell me how to fit society. Society can tell me how to fit society. They can't tell me how to fit me. What do they know?
Okay, I got what you mean. So I think we're going to continue to read to know more about that.
Yeah, because Peterson can't mean it that way, but it sounds like that.
Yeah,
it can't mean it that way because he's not that way.
I don't think that's what he means.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would not seek so carefully about what truth is.
But it sounds that way at that time. And so then I fight with that bone, you know.
Okay.
I pick that bone and I want to chew it.
Yeah, okay, so maybe we're gonna like read more
Yeah.
to make sure
And
what
before
he
you
really
close
mean.
it, I'll just say he does have a chapter
Mm-hmm.
in his other book, and I don't know what it's called, but basically he says, your children, you need to make your children likable to the world.
Yeah, right.
Because then the world will give them
Yeah.
more. To me, this is more like knowing how to hunt in a forest. It's not about knowing who you are or your identity
Yeah, it's kind
or
of
whatever.
like a skill.
It's
I
a
think,
skill.
Yeah.
It's a skill.
So that's why I say what Peterson said is about manner, about fitting, about skill.
Yeah,
But just now it seems you are angry is about who can I define who am I? It's kind of like an essential problem.
Yeah.
I don't think he mean that.
Yeah, maybe. But the way he said it there, it sure sounds like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically we don't have some disagreeable.
Do we ever disagree? That's it for today. Come back and check out some of our other videos. Please put your comments below, hit like and subscribe with notifications if you wish to join in conversations with us on other topics.